YouTube? It's James Schreiber, Fantasy Battle Reports, and I got another battle report for you today. This is the Road to Hogfest, round number 1. Now, guys, Hogfest is a tournament that's going to be held in St. Louis, Missouri. Actually, it's in Washington, Missouri, but it's going to be one of the first tournaments in Missouri to actually happen, which doesn't really happen. This is breaking ground for the 9th Age. Now, guys, and it's breaking ground for the Midwest because most tournaments in the Midwest is actually always held at Chicago or Ohio. Ohio or Chicago, Ohio, Chicago, Ohio, Chicago. So this is going to be the first tournament in the Midwest that is not a Chicago or Ohio tournament, but you're going to see a lot of Midwest guys. But not only that, you're going to see guys coming from other regions. So I know Pete Reese is coming up from Texas, and I know James Valdez is coming down, and I know Matt Reich is coming down. So this is going to be fun. This is going to be a great time, guys. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. This is the second time I'm recording this video because the first time I recorded it, the freaking audio was like destroying my ears, and I found out that it was like a mixed cord or something like that. It was like two things were plugged in at once, and it didn't know what to record from, so it was kind of recording on both, and oh, it was brutal. It was brutal. So guys, there's gonna be a lot of stuff that I'm gonna mention in here that I probably already know the outcome because whatever. Anyways, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's for me, not you. Anyways, let's go over what I have, what he has on the table. This is a game at Friday Night Dice. My brother was talking to Chris Walker about getting a game in. They couldn't just decide on a store that was going to be open, and then all of a sudden they were like, hey, why don't we go to Joe Kagan's house? Joe Kagan is the guy who does Army Builder, and he makes battle, or not, he makes battle, he works on Army Builder and basically gets us the files to work on, or to work where we could use it. Anyways, this is at his house in his basement, and there's 2 tables down there, real solid tables, and then me and Brian ended up having to go upstairs to play on 2 tables pushed together because there was no table space downstairs because we brought my brother and Luke Nickel down to play some games. Now, let's go over what I have and what Brian has. Brian is also the guy who allowed us to use his dwarf army for ETC when we decided to come out with the Slayer list. Anyways, alright, over here I got my 2 spiders, my Gargantula spiders, the A-Rock and the Chicken Rock, the chicken head on the Chicken Rock. I got my 5 Wolf Riders, I got my 20 Feral Orc Ed Bashers, and then this is a very funny moment because Brian goes, why do you bring 20 savages? And I go, dude, why not? And he goes, well, I just thought they were not that good. I'm like, they're not that good, but people ignore them enough where they actually end up doing something late in the game because people just ignore them so much. Everybody's focused on the spiders, everybody's focused on Zod, everybody's focused on the idol. So by the time the savages get in, they already exhausted their resources, and the savages get into their thing. So I just thought that was really funny. Then I got my 20 common goblins down there. I got my 2 wizards, the Prophet and Baxter the Pyromaniac with Witchcraft and Pyromancy, respectively. Up here I got General Zod and Crom the Conqueror. Crom the Conqueror is the idol of chicken, and Zod is actually rocking some new gear. Zod actually has the Crown of Autocracy, which is giving him a Leadership 10 bubble, as well as Talisman of Supreme Shielding and Dragon Helm. In the top right, I have the K-Pack, and then I have also my 45 common goblins with bows, shields, shady gits, and a war banner. For my opponent, Brian, the Librarian Hughes. Brian is also the guy who ran Adepticon last year. But Brian has 2 gyrocopters here in skirmish formation, another 2 gyrocopters in skirmish formation, 2 units of miners. He has a catapult, an anvil, 2 cannons, 2 units of graybeards, or which I call graybirds, and a general BSP and a runesmith. Over here he has his grudge busters, which I call the Twinkie Busters. The Twinkie Busters! I just want to grab one of those, rip it open, and see if it has a cream filling. I'm just saying. They look like Twinkies to me. But these are his 2 grudge busters. Okay. Gotta respond to this. This is about work. Sorry about that, guys. I'm not editing this out because I'm too lazy. Anyways, so we're playing diagonal, all right, and we're also playing I pick sides, so he ended up picking the side with I ended up picking the side with the hill, so he doesn't get the hill with his war machines. It's that simple. And then he ends up picking saying I could just drop first. So I ended up dropping everything, and I hate doing that, but with this list I kind of need to do it, especially when I'm fighting a guy who has a straight up gun list, and he has a straight up gun list. So I have to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and drop everything. I put my dogs on the left side because I figured I could vanguard up into the forest and deal with whatever he might put far back there. So to counteract what he did, and for the record, my major mistake in this right now, in my deployment right now, is I put the bushwhackers a little too far back. I needed to make sure they're as far up as possible, because he doesn't have a combat army. I didn't have to worry about him coming at me, and I could have potentially put the bushwhackers on the line and then just protect them with like a spider or so. Anyways, so to counteract what I did, he ends up just castling up in a corner and literally just going to play the gun line on me. Vanguard's up. I go ahead and I move my dogs up to the side, and as you can see, this is going to go ahead and start off turn 1, Orcs and Goblins. Orcs and Goblins, turn 1! I go ahead and I move my dogs all the way up the side. I totally forgot that the Grudge Buster and the Gyrocopters have guns. So I go up that way thinking like, aha, he can't see me. I'm going to get into his war machine as fast as possible. And I go ahead and I move up I move up everybody as fast as I can. 14-inch moves, 12-inch moves, everything like that. The spiders, they don't look like they went up far, but that's because I had to like wheel around up that way. And they just kind of lost some movement in that regard, but my chariots are kind of coming up fast. My idol's coming up fast. Magic Phase got 7 powered ice, and I realize I am not close enough to do a goddamn spell, so nothing really happens. Yeah. And it's gonna go and start off his turn. Dwarven holds turn 1. Dwarven holds turn 1. He goes into he drops some bombs onto my goblins, kills off 2 of my goblins here. They stick on a leadership 6. And then over here he moves his Grudge Buster to face him, just to shoot him, and he moves very little, actually. He moves back a bit, so I don't get him even easier. Magic Phase, he got 11 powered ice. First thing he does Rune of Storms onto the idol. He ends up getting off 2 wounds. He's rolling the dice, and he's like, alright, strength 6 here, T what? I'm like, T8. And he's like, T8? I was like, yeah. He goes, shit, so I need 6s anyways? I'm like, yep, that's why I let it go through. And he still got 2 6s in. Motherfucker. Alright, over here the Gyrocopters start shooting into Crom. They end up getting off another wound, and then, oh, actually they failed to wound him. Which is pretty fine. Cannon number 1 shoots into him. Boom! Gets 2 wounds off. Well, hopefully cannon number 2 misfires. Cannon number 2 misfire? Nope. Boom! Kills Crom. God damn! Crom! Why? Because Crom was the first one. Crom was the first one on the line. That's why Crom died first. Catapult misfires, though. Luckily, I get out with that one. And then over here, he ends up shooting the Grudge Buster into my dogs and kills the dogs. He shoots the gyros into my chariots and does 1 wound onto Koga. And it's going to start off Orcs and Goblins turn 2. Orcs and Goblins turn 2. I'm going to charge in into his gyros. And he's like, stand and shoot. And he does another 2 wounds onto my chariots. And then he also says, haha, you're going to have to charge through the forest and you have to take DTs. And I'm like, nope. And he's like, what do you mean no? You got to get into me. And I was like, hell no. I charge forward, get past the damn fucking forest, then I wheel and I hit him and I clip and I get in without having to take any DTs. Anyways, so the rest of the moves, I end up just moving up my chariots, I move up my spiders, I move up the savages. Savages are kind of chaffed up by the A-Rock, but oh well. And that's how it looks. Magic Phase, I got 9 power dice. Go ahead and I do a Ruby Ring. Boom! Right into the cannon. Go ahead and do a Pyro Flow. Boom! Right into the cannon. Kill that fucking cannon. Fuck you, cannon. And then over here, close combat. I only kill 1 gyro, but he does only 1 wound onto Koga. He loses combat. He runs. I chase him off the table. And it's going to start off turn 2. Dwarven holds. Turn 2, Dwarven holds. Those Twinkie blimps are coming out. They're coming straight for my damn space or A-Rock. And basically that's how the table looks. Nothing really happens on the left side of the table. Everything kind of focuses on the right. His miners pop up right in the top of the table, and then his other miners pop up on my side. We're playing Breakthrough. So at the current moment, he's winning the objective because he has the miners in the corner that I'm never going to get to. Magic Phase, he got 4 power dice, goes ahead, and nothing really happens in Magic. Shooting Phase, the catapult shoots right into my goblins. Direct hit. Boom! Oh, fuck. Kills 14 goblins. Or 12 goblins. 12. Over here, shooting phase, he just starts fucking racking up wounds. And I mean racking up wounds on the A-Rock. Fucking grudge busters, gyrocopters, cannon, just everything shoots into the fucking A-Rock. Everything's doing wounds. He got up 7 wounds on the A-Rock. A-Rock is still alive. Doesn't look good. But my next turn, I mean, obviously, we'll stay on this picture for a minute. I could charge my Space Rock into his gyros because he's chaffing me. And I'm hoping he fails the terror, but he's probably not going to fail a terror check. But if I charge my A-Rock into his blimp, I'm probably going to just lose my A-Rock. And it's like, oh, that sucks. But you know what? Something else could happen. So turn 3, Orcs and Goblins, I'm going to call out the Wog. And Zod! Boom! Zod just ran. It's like a fucking car. Like a fucking, what are those called? Like the fucking bumper cars. Where he's just like, boom! Just rams right into the fucking flank. He's like, I want some Twinkies! Twinkies! He's hungry for some Twinkies, goddammit. And he's just, he's trying to pop the balloon with the dragon rammer. You see that? Space Rock goes in. A-Rock's like, fuck this, and ran behind the building, trying to get out of line of sight of the cannon. Couldn't technically get out of line of sight just yet. He has one shot where he could shoot me still. Savages move up. My bunkers move up, and basically I try to get really slick with the K-Pack. I try to turn him into 1 rank wide and go right behind his unit so I can start ramming into his shit back there. Magic Phase. Magic Phase got 10 power dice. Nothing happens. I failed my first spell, which was like a 3 dice Scorching Salvo. Fail it by 1 because as a dwarf he's minusing my cast by 1. Okay, so I fail by that 1. Then the next spell I frickin' just fail outright, and then he has more dice than me to stop the rest of my spells, and I was like, well, this sucks. Shooting phase, I shoot into his Grudge Buster here, and I do, or not Grudge Buster, his Grudge Thrower, I end up doing 2 wounds, and then over here I shoot him with the K-Pack. Kaiser does another wound. Close combat, I impact hit the fuck out of his blimp. I impact the hit out of the fuck out of him. I do 4 wounds. He goes for armor saves, and bing, 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 he armor saved all 4 and gave me. He told me I am number 2. You are number 2, James. Anyways, he ends up doing a wound onto Zod. Zod ends up going with a great weapon, doing like 3 wounds. So I have a charge, a flank, 3 wounds. He does 1 wound. I win combat by a lot. He runs. I chase. Now I need a 9 to get into his miners, and I roll it, and I roll an 8. Son of a bitch. As you can see, the Space Rock finished off the Gyros. And, yeah, I'm going to keep calling them different ways of saying Gyros, Gyros, and Gyros. For his turn, Dwarven holds turn 3, I think that was? 2, 3, I don't remember. He ends up being real slick, and he moves his dwarves only 2, or he thins them out, turns them sideways, and gets in my way in between the K-Pack and that Grudge Thrower. Ugh, that sucks. Magic Phase, he got 5 power dice, goes ahead and does Runish Shattering onto my goblins, kills off a couple goblins, but it also makes me lose or get -1 to hit. This cannon shoots at the A-Rock, hits the A-Rock, goes to wound, and oh my god, I lucked the fuck out. He failed to wound the A-Rock. Oh my god. Woo! Woo! A-Rock, you're gonna live. You're gonna live, buddy. Over here, Anvil, or no, the Catapult. The Grudge Thrower misfires and destroys its last wound. And now it's going to start off Orcs and Goblins turn 4. Orcs and Goblins turn 4. And guys, I'm going to tell you right now, there's about 13 minutes in or 14 minutes into the video. Right around now, I have about 10% battery left, so there's a lot less pictures. There's only like 2 more rounds that I get pictures of, so I'm going to have to explain to you what happens at the end, but when we get there. So the Space Rock charges in here. Yeah, Space Rock charges in here. Zod was in the way, so Zod had to move over, which Zod actually chaffed my savages from charging his Grudge Thrower, which sucks. I make the fatal mistake here of moving my goblins so I could get 24 inches away from that cannon so I can start hitting them with all the spells. And my real goal here is to work every spell into, or every attribute into the blimp so I can start picking wounds at the blimp, at the Twinkie, right? But my fatal mistake here is he has fly, so he can just fly over my savages and get into my goblins, and he's not that far. I'm hoping he doesn't see it. He totally sees it, by the way. But I'm just like, well, fuck it. If I do so many wounds with the pyromancy, and then I shoot him with the skull splitter, and then he charges into me, and I can shoot him again with the standard shoot with the skull splitter, I'll probably destroy the blimp, right? My K-Pack moves this way because there was no point in charging one wide into that unit. I decided to move back this way, and if he charges me, I'll flee through my own unit, and that's basically what's going to end up happening. Magic phase, I got 8 power dice. Go ahead and I do Scorching Salvo. That's the only spell he lets go through. I end up doing only 1 wound onto the blimp, 2 wounds onto his unit, and that's it. And then shooting phase over here, I shoot all these shots into his guys, end up killing off 3 of his graybeards. Over here, I shoot into the blimp, I only get 1 wound, and he armor saved everything else. This is really bad. It's going to start off his turn. Dwarven holds turn 4. Dwarven holds turn 4. He charges into the K-Pack. K-Pack flees, gets through, and they basically get away. He tries to redirect. He can't redirect. He's too far, so basically nothing happens. He fails his charge. Over here, he charges into my goblins. I'm like, fuck, flee! And I flee away. I get away. I'm like 18 inches. I'm like, ah ha ha ha! He needs a tent to catch me. The goblins were eaten by a Twinkie. Yep, that happened. Alright, over here, he turns his dwarves to face Zod, and his focus right now is to face Zod. And as you can see, the space rock's off the table. I ran off the table because I figured it was the point of getting shot by a cannon and everything on his turn. On my turn, I could walk on and basically get closer. So, Anvil starts it off. Runa Storms. I let it go through because I'm figuring he won't get that many, but he ends up getting 1 wound off. Alright, cool. Runa Shattering. I'm like, whatever. Runa Shattering ain't gonna hurt me. It's strength 4. I have a 1-up armor. It gets 1 wound through. Motherfucker. Not only that, but now I have to take DTs if I charge in. Well, guess what? It didn't even matter because the cannon shoot, boom! Hits me, wounds me. I roll a 3 and he kills Zod. What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh, what the fuck? Anyways. And that's how the table looks. Now, again, like I said, this is where the pictures get really scarce. Okay. So, turn 5. I think it's turn 5. Turn 5, I charge my savages into the flank of his dwarves. And at that time, I'm thinking, it's over, dude. It's over. I'm only 8 inches away from him, so I need to roll a 4 or better on 2 dice. And I'm like... And he's like, do you have a champ? It's auto in. I'm like, I don't have a champ, but I'm not going to fail this. I roll the dice. I roll double 1s. Yep. And that's all that I really had. I shot his dwarf, obviously, with a bow shot, and it's going to start off his turn. Turn 5. Turn 5, Dwarven holds. Magic, he gets 2 power dice. And he actually charged in. And I think he tried to give himself, like, -1 to wound or -1 to hit or some shit. I don't remember what he did. Anyways, either way, close combat. Isaac gets, oh, no. He did Runa Storms onto the spider, did 4 wounds. The cannon shot the spider, did 4 wounds, and my spider is dead. Woo! Okay. Alright, close combat. Close combat, my savages do 8 fucking wounds. 8 wounds. He does 2 wounds back or 4 wounds back. I win combat by a lot, even though he charged me and did 4 wounds. Me doing 8 wounds, 2 ranks, and a banner. He freaking loses big time. He runs. I chase into a cannon, kill the cannon. Now this is the last picture of the game. I kill the cannon. I overrun into his anvil, kill the anvil. He charges into my goblins, fails the charge. I charge my spider into the flank of his... The spider with 1 wound left, might I add. Into the flank of his blimp. I think I failed that charge. But this is it. I'm on his side of the table. I think I got the breakthrough. I think when we did the math, it was a 10-10, but I don't know if we were counting the fact that I had goblins there. I really don't know if I was counting the fact that I had goblins or not there. Because if I have the goblins there, I take the objective, and I think I end up winning like a 13-7. I don't remember. It was like last week, too. Anyways. But... if not, it's either a 10-10 or a 13-7. That's all I'm going to tell you guys, because I don't even know or remember. We really weren't teching with it. We weren't really being too critical on it. We just kind of gave each other a rough point cost, and we are like, that's a 10-10. And we were just shooting the shit. We're talking about Adepticon and all the other stuff that's going on. Anyways, so that's how the table looks, and that's about it. Guys, the fact that I ran out of a battery by the time this game got out, or by the time we almost finished this game, is more reason for you guys to go sign up on my Patreon. Because if you guys sign up on my Patreon, it helps me get money to pay for a new camera so I can give you better battle reports. Not only that, but it's helping me get to Croatia next year for ETC. But anyways, guys, what was I going to tell you? Oh, MVP is my Savage Orcs. Late in the game, they got in. They destroyed a unit of Greybeards, an anvil, and a cannon, which is like 1,000 points or more, just by themselves. That's crazy. Yeah, comparative to everybody else, they did the most actually, which is really funny because everything else is off the table. He does have his general, his BSB, and his runesmith all alive inside that unit, which kind of like, that's a lot of points in that one unit that's remaining. Besides that, guys, like I brought up before, I have Patreon set up. So I have a Patreon reward system set up for the first 100 people to sign up on the Patreon reward program. You guys will get a pair of Koopa dice. And for those of you who, those of you who are going to Hogfest, hopefully I'll have them by then so that I can just kind of give it to you at Hogfest. But besides that, guys, if you guys sign up for my Patreon, I am also working on magic cards, which if you watch my last battle report, you could see 2 of the magic cards that I started already with the Pyroclastic Flow and the Enveloping Embers. But as soon as I get off this battle report, I'm probably going to start working on my Flaming Swords. And guys, this is for the new magic that's coming out. I know you guys are probably like, what are you talking about? You don't even know if those spells are existing in the next one. They are. I'm just telling you right now, they are. I'm not going to give out any details on what they do, but they definitely are still there, and even if they're not there, I'm going to be able to make these cards into whatever is out there that's going to be out there. So, guys, besides that, gave you the MVPs, the Savage Orcs, gave you the Patreon, and like, share, and subscribe, guys. It's only a 20-minute video because I ran out of film, and take care. Till next time, guys. Peace.